On this episode of the Airport Economist, we visit India, one of the world's emerging economic superpowers and the most populous nation on earth. Why has the southern city of Bengaluru become known as India's Silicon Valley? We find out. Plus, Make in India. We look at advanced manufacturing and research and development in Chennai, the Detroit of India. We find out how India has become a leader in the space race. And what are the opportunities for Australian businesses in this dynamic, vast economy? We'll speak to the experts about what you need to know. I'm Tim Harcourt, the Airport Economist, and I'm here in Bengaluru, in the south of India. A city that's known as the Silicon Valley of India, as it is the global centre of India's amazing IT industry that's so famous all over the world. I'm going to take you on a tour of two of India's most important southern cities, Bengaluru and here in Chennai, as both are symbolic of India's re-emergence as a global economic superpower. We will look at India's competitive strengths in IT and software, engineering, but also defence, aviation, and the exciting new frontiers in space and AI. We will also look at Make in India, India's massive investment in advanced manufacturing. I'm going to talk to key Indian diplomats, business leaders and entrepreneurs, as well as international representatives who have based themselves in southern India as a launchpad for the whole global economy. Welcome to India. India is a land of both ancient civilizations and cultures, but also one of the drivers of economic and technical progress in the 21st century. India has a GDP of over 3.5 trillion US dollars, but spread over a massive 1.4 billion people. It is growing at an impressive 7 to 8% a year, but even with this large population, India's economic projections are mind-blowing. India is already the world's third largest economy, and by 2035, its share of global GDP is projected to be on par with the United States on a purchasing power parity basis. India's population is projected to be 1.6 billion people, easily the world's most populous country by 2035, across 29 diverse states with 640 million Indians living in cities, hence India's emphasis on smart cities. India's main export destinations are the USA, the UAE, Netherlands, China and the UK. Its main import sources are China, Russia, UAE, USA and Saudi Arabia. India is a major player on the world stage and has strong diplomatic ties with Australia through the G20, the Quad Leaders Summit and the East Asia Summit. Australia has an Indian economic strategy to 2035 to take advantage of India's industrial scale. Chennai is central to that strategy. I spoke to the Australian Consul General to find out more. So Consul General, welcome to the show.
Thank you, it's a pleasure to be here.
Now it's very interesting that the Australian Consul General is based in Chennai. How important is Chennai to the economy of India as a whole?
So traditionally that post was selected because Chennai, the Consulate General in Chennai was responsible for all of South India, We've recently expanded our footprint in South India and opened a consulate in Bengaluru as well. Chennai has traditionally been a manufacturing and industrial hub for India, and there's excellent universities there, so people from all over India were coming to study there. For Australia, we have a strong Tamil population in Australia, and it's on the coast looking at the Bay of Bengal, a strategically important area for us as a country to have a post there.
I noticed in Chennai, I've been visiting Chennai for many years, I've noticed it sort of as the Detroit of India on one hand with the automotive sector and manufacturing, a huge port, and also the universities, it seems to be very much a higher education city as well.
Yeah, and that's all correct, but they're really embracing tech and new industries and fields. So if you look at Tamil Nadu as a state, it's really trying to take advantage of India's comparative advantages, a young population, educating them, and then trying to build industries of the future. So there's electronics happening there. I mean, Apple iPhones, if you've bought an iPhone recently, there's a chance that it was built in Tamil Nadu.
So it's manufacturing new industries as well as the traditional sort of old scale automotive and so on?
Yes.
I'd imagine that renewable energy, EVs, the green future, a lot of that's emanates from Chennai as well.
Absolutely, and this is where we see a lot of complementarities for Australia, because as all our countries work towards net zero by 2050, we need to partner with other countries in the region to get there. And in Tamil Nadu, in Chennai, they're looking at expanding the production of EVs, as well as there's hydrogen being produced in southern Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu was a very early adopter for wind technology, and we actually think there's, between Australia's Future Made in Australia program and India's Make in India, there's a lot of complementarities where we can work together to ensure Australia meets its goals and India meets its goals towards net zero.
I was interested in that because, India's a big place, it's got great scale, it's got great science and technology. What's Australia's sort of offering to India from our point of view?
So Australia obviously has a lot of advanced technologies, and we think that India can grow that to scale. There's a lot of manufacturing opportunities in India for Australian companies, and obviously exporting to the world from there. We've had great companies like Callington set up their manufacturing business in Chennai and Tamil Nadu more broadly, and from there they've been able to grow their business servicing the rest of the world.
Do you think generally for Australian companies basing themselves in Chennai, it's been quite a straightforward place to set up? There's a similar legal system, widespread English in business, so is that some of the advantages of India and Chennai in particular?
I think language is the greatest advantage. The fact that the English is such a high level, and we share that common language. Having lived in other countries and operating in different languages, I know it can sometimes be hard to do business when you're working through a translator or trying to speak the language yourself. But I think for Australian companies, we would always recommend that they speak to Austrade and speak to them about what the best entry into India might be for them. Since we've signed the ECTA agreement, more and more companies are looking to expand their footprint both ways.
And ECTA is the Economic Cooperation Trade Agreement. It's like a free trade agreement with investment as well, right?
Yes.
So has that seen a big influx of companies now into Chennai as a result of the agreement, or India in general?
Yeah, I think what ECTA has done is reset the mindset that we previously had. I think for a long time people were thinking India's too hard, it's too difficult to get into, but ECTA was the driving force that has enabled a lot of companies to re-look at India and actually realise there's been a lot of reforms introduced, and ECTA provides Australians with an advantage. We're one of very few countries that has a trade agreement with India, and Australian companies should be looking at taking advantage of what it offers them.
Export processing zones have been established all over India to facilitate trade and foreign investment. I spoke to the Development Commissioner of the Madras Zone to find out his vision for the local economy. So welcome to the Airport Economist.
Thank you.
Now, for investors and exporters around the world, why would they consider Chennai and the Madras export processing zone as a place to do business?
If you look at our presence when it comes to global value chain, Chennai ranks as a very important destination for the global value chain. To tell you about the diversity of exports that happens from this place, we all know about the HSN codes, which governs the type of things that are exported. Out of that, close to 83 to 85% of articles are manufactured in this particular province called Tamil Nadu. So that shows the diversity of articles that are manufactured, the strength this state has, this province has in terms of say potential investments, potential skills, and components being manufactured in one single province. So that diversity, because global value chains require multiple components to finally build in one single product. And if you see this much of diversity happening in one province, that shows that how important a destination this province is, just Chennai and Tamil Nadu is.
If I'm a investor or exporter looking at the export processing zone here, what sort of incentives do you provide on behalf of the government here?
The biggest incentive we offer is that there are no import duties for any components that are being manufactured, both on the capex as well as on the opex fronts. And further, if you are a complete export player, you are also exempted from the local taxes, what we call as GST. So this alone would contribute anywhere close to savings of around 30 to 45%. Mostly if the basic customs duty is around 15 to 18%, 25%, or GST around 18%. That itself is a huge savings when it comes to capex and opex for such units. And over and above that, we also have a green channel for customs clearances. There's a separate field unit which operates at the disposal of the Development Commissioner in the Special Economic Zones, and as we speak, Tamil Nadu has the highest number of Special Economic Zones, functional ones, close to 52. So all of them, these are all islands of excellence where we've been able to push exports, and Tamil Nadu does around 1.76 lakh crores of exports from the Special Economic Zones alone, both services and manufacturing put together. That's the strength we have in the SEZ ecosystem.
Is it mainly for Indian companies or for foreign investors?
There are all kinds of investments. These are mostly foreign investments. If you see, there are companies like ZF, which are just German ones, and we have Renault, and there are a lot of global majors operating. From pharma side, we have AstraZeneca. You name the sector, every sector has got a lot of foreign investment present inside the Special Economic Zones.
So you have aviation, you have manufacturing, you have healthcare, biomedical, and so on. So if I'm an Australian business or foreign investor wanting to do business here, who do I call? Do I call you, or is there a website, or what do I do?
So we do have a website, and we have a very open and accessible office. We have a very small team, and I'll just tell you about how we do clearances, approvals and stuff like that. Our average clearance time for a new unit stands at somewhere around 7 to 9 days. That's Godspeed. So, the office is open, the portal is open, our emails are open, and anybody from Australia who wants to start business here, I can promise that your business will take off in Godspeed here.
Still to come, you're thinking of doing business in India? Well, how's it done and how do you get around? Stay with us and you'll find out. Let's go, mate. One of the most well-known Indian companies to succeed globally is the Tata Group, a family enterprise founded by the late and great Ratan Tata that has become a multi-billion-dollar global conglomerate. I spoke with Tata Consultancy Services, TCS, in Chennai. So the technological transformation of India is extraordinary. Can you tell me a bit about TCS's role in the the building the digital backbone of India.
It's a pleasure. I think, as you might be aware, TCS is part of the big Tata conglomerate. It's a global IT consulting services firm bringing innovation and technology at scale to our customers at large. We are very proud to be a very key partner in enabling the digital India as we see it right now. I'll give you some examples so that it exemplifies the whole thing. Financial inclusion, if you take as a broad theme, we have been pivotal in shaping the financial inclusion journey for India. For example, all digital payment transformations, NEFT, RTGS, all has been operationalized by TCS. At least a majority of the population of India run on platforms, banking platforms, engineered and delivered by TCS. I think a lot of people might not be aware, at least 35% of the world's population run on banking platforms engineered by TCS.
35% of the world's population.
Absolutely.
Not just India.
Yeah, it is absolutely a non-trivial number. The third element is bringing things to life for citizens at large. Financial inclusion is just not about ability for people to transact money, etc., ability to access and so on and so forth. One of the things we are proud to share is we have digitized the entire postal ecosystem by far one of the largest postal transformations that has ever happened. We were pioneer in enabling that so it means every village in India has a postal office. It becomes a financial gateway as well in many shapes and forms. And last but not the least, lot of the exchanges in terms of equities and commodity exchanges are all running on TCS platforms. So we have been a pioneer partner in shaping the digital world in as far as financial inclusion is concerned at large. But all of this has been driven because we have a very rich pedigree of research and innovation. I think a lot of people might not be aware, we have around 5,500 research and innovators in the organization. We have at least, I think, 9,000 patents till date filed and around 5,000 patents granted, which means we are by far one of the largest applied research patent holders. And we do a lot of work collaborating with the society at large in bringing innovation at scale. I think key to note is one of the initiatives that we've done is called DISQ, D-I-S-Q, which is a digital startup ecosystem, where we innovate with entrepreneurs for the society at large. It is just not about enabling banks, it is not about postal divisions, etc., but can I innovate at large for the society? So one such initiative is for hearing impaired and visually impaired people, ability for them to translate across languages and get content fed back to them is an innovative idea which came out of the DISC initiative. It is all non-for-profit. It is only purely aimed for societal inclusion. I think that forms the pivot, Tim, in terms of how we can enable digital India for the future.
And we've been through this great transformation. The one coming forward, of course, is artificial intelligence. How do you view AI as an opportunity and as a challenge in your position, in terms of technology for TCS and for India?
It's a tremendous opportunity. We have significant investments in AI to enable our customers to bring AI to life. It's almost like God's gift to mankind after 2022. Once ChatGPT came, they thought it will change the way world is going to be. Of course, it is going to be disruptive. But just like any other emerging tech, people tend to overestimate the benefits in the short term and completely underestimate the benefits in the long term. So we are focused on the long haul. Okay, we have significantly invested in three aspects. One is reskilling our folks. We are 620,000 plus, give or take. Our ability to scale our talent to embrace the new technology of AI, by far one of the biggest talent transformations we've done, is something that we've focused on. Second is focused on very strategic partnerships, be it with the NVIDIAs of the world, be it with the Googles and Microsofts of the world, to ensure that we are able to bring these technologies to life for our customers. And third is very niche capabilities and platforms within TCS, because there's a fundamental gap between the technology and the art of possible and bringing that to life for our customers. So that ability for me to bridge that gap is something where we've significantly invested on it. AI is a massively big focus for TCS right now, and we have huge amount of projects that we are working on. for our customers. And I think we are built for the long haul, and we are built to scale substantially well. In addition to the software side, which a lot of people are aware of, I think one of the areas we are invested is we also recognize that semiconductors and chips are going to be very central to the whole fabric of AI. We, along with our Tata Group companies, are building up a first indigenous semiconductor factory in India, which is going to come live in 2026, and we are very excited about it. The second thing is, it is just not about AI, but all the adjunct services around AI. For example, we are partnered with IIT Bombay in building the first quantum diamond microchip imager, which helps you spot issues with semiconductor chips and so on and so forth. So it is just not about AI, software and capabilities thereof. We are also looking at all the ecosystem of chips and integration services, etc., which will bring this to life for our customer. I think we are significantly invested there.
Manufacturing has long been at the heart of Chennai, formerly known as Madras, the capital of Tamil Nadu. The car industry made Chennai well known as the Detroit of India, but has now expanded to a range of industries. I spoke to one of India's most famous companies, Mahindra & Mahindra, for their insights on doing business here in Chennai. Well, welcome to the Airport Economist.
Yes, thank you.
So Mahindra & Mahindra is a very famous company in India. Can you tell me how it started and what sort of things Mahindra does?
So Mahindra & Mahindra is, it started way back in 1945-46, and we were assembling the World War II. During that time, the jeeps we were assembling, we were purchasing and assembling. We were also doing the tractor ourselves. We were manufacturing the tractors, and slowly we started up getting that World War II jeeps, which we were supplying to army, to people movers of India. Jeep is a very, very famous in Indian movies. It's an iconic one, and then it became a national people mover for people of India. And in 2002 we launched Scorpio. That's a breakthrough for us. It's a true car-like SUV. We call it as a blue-blooded SUVs. Since then we started our journey from 2002, and now we recently launched 2 electric SUVs. We call it as Electric Origin E-SUVs. That's where we are today.
Now, can you tell me a little bit about the Research Valley? Here we are. There's a lot of people working here.
Yes.
How big is it, the Research Valley?
So we have about 6,500 people working here in Mahindra Research Valley, which is situated in Chennai. Our company is in Mumbai, and manufacturing centers are in Nasik and Chakan in Pune, and spread out all over India, but main locations are there, and Nagpur for tractors. But we have chosen R&D center to be in Chennai. We inaugurated this in 2011, and since then we have been designing and producing the products. XUV500, starting XUV500 onwards, it started coming out of the main R&D center here. You have seen in 125 acres a big campus is built, and from here we have a test track, Mahindra SUV proving track, which is built in 450 acres. It's a very big campus with high-speed testing, handling tracks, NVH tracks, durability tracks, all of them. So combined, these 2 facilities serve the backbone for our product development for both the ICE vehicles and the electric vehicles.
So southern India is very important to Mahindra & Mahindra.
Absolutely.
Yes. So it's interesting that the R&D is in Chennai. Is this because Chennai is the Detroit of India in terms of the automotive industry?
It was emerging, and it is also now JLR is investing 9,000 crores in Chennai for the electric vehicles. We had Ford, and now they are restarting operations. Renault, Nissan, Daimler, all the companies are here. More than that, Anand Mahindra, who is the chairperson, when he conceived this R&D center here, he wanted away from the manufacturing plants, away from the busy times of the Mumbai city and the manufacturing pressures. He wanted the engineers to be very creative and create the future, and therefore he wanted them to be thinking 4 years, 3 years ahead of their time. what products will come in next 3 years and next 4 years, rather than the day-to-day problems in the plant.
I noticed too, Chennai has very important universities, Anna University,
Yes.
IIT Madras, so they're world class. Is that another reason why you have your R&D here in Chennai?
So I think if I remember, there are 200 engineering colleges spread across this state. Likewise, there are many engineering colleges in Karnataka. In Andhra Pradesh, there are many engineering colleges. In Kerala, there are many engineering colleges. These are the 4 states that are in this part of South India.
Someone said to me that India has first-class universities, but so many people in India want a university education. The universities can't educate everyone, so they have to go to Australia and elsewhere. Is that the case? That
It's
so
tough,
many?
very, very tough. So, for example, to get into an Anna University or an IIT Madras, the ranking that you have to do out of, for example, out of 200, you have to be at 199 cutoff mark, and 198 you will have to go to the other centers of cities of the Anna University.
When we think about manufacturing here and R&D, is the market for Mahindra India, or do you see yourself selling EVs around the world?
So EVs we just started in 2022, end of 2022 we started our first EV, the XUV400. That was an ICE converted electric vehicle, and in the November 26 we have launched our Born Electric, the electric origin SUVs. We have launched B6 and 9e, XEV 9e. These are the 2 products that we have launched. Both of them have all the features that are available in the market. They are in line with what VWs, Audis and Mercs and Teslas provide. Of course, we don't have an autonomous driving like Tesla FSD, but rest everything is there in this vehicle. We have the combination of sound mechanical engineering with the features of China. You have the both combinations in these vehicles. This will redefine the personal electric mobility. That's what we think. The customers have shown great interest in these 2 products, and the reception, what we hear from the media and market is huge, and hoping to sell more numbers in the coming months in 2025.
So when you think about India's image in the world, what would you like to viewers to see in India, the modern India?
The modern India will be defined by its ability to transform from human brain to AI-assisted human brain. The AI will become the biggest revolution. I saw it, Gen AI being used by every engineers for anything that you go for a talk and you give the brief and it gives, The human beings have to beat the AI and be on top of it. Either the AI is on your top or you are on the top of it. This is the story that is going to turn around. That will be the top end. The AI will be used across multiple domains and in the industries. Electrical, electronics and software, they are becoming the second one. The complete car, I talk about the car industry, and the car is becoming a software on the wheels. It's like an iPhone on the wheels.
That's a nice phrase, iPhone on wheels.
Yes, iPhone on wheels.
Callington is an Australian company that produces chemical specialty products across 6 continents. With Chennai being the heartland for Indian manufacturing, particularly in the aviation and automotive sectors, Callington naturally decided to head their Indian operations here. I spoke to their regional manager for India and Qatar. So welcome to the Airport Economist.
Thank you, Professor.
Now tell me about Callington. What's its history? What products do you make? Tell us a bit about Callington.
The history of Callington goes back to 1968 when Nick Shulal, who is the current managing director of the whole group, he was 19 then, and he decided that he needs to do something quite dramatic in his life. So at the age of 19, he decided that he needs to mix some chemicals. He didn't find space, so he went to his father's garage. He took a few chemicals, he mixed it together and he prepared a product. And that was the start of Callington. Now, 56 years later, I think we've done remarkably well as a group and as an organization. We started off with fuel additives. That was Nick's passion. Even today, it remains his passion. But over time, we evolved. He evolved, and he started growing the company. His first big success came in Hong Kong, where he had a lot of success. On that success, he started riding the wave, and he said, okay, I think I can do much more. And that's when he started growing the business. Somewhere in the 1980s, he also got together and he thought, why not get into the subject of biosecurity, border biosecurity. And that's where the whole journey took off for Callington as a group. Because that as a subject is a very, very important subject, not only for Australia, but also for the whole world. And thanks to Nick's efforts over the years, we are now pioneers in this whole field of aircraft disinfection. Nick decided at some point in time in the 1980s that aviation and aerospace is where the future is, and put in all his efforts over there. In 2024, we now have 15 subsidiaries across the world. We have 5 manufacturing locations, close to 160 employees, each very, very passionate about what they're supposed to do, with the final objective of making Callington a global force in the space of aircraft disinfection and aircraft maintenance.
So if I go on an aeroplane in India as the airport economist, where do I find Callington's products on the plane?
Callington's products would be quite discreet. You may not be able to see each one of them on the aircraft, but the moment you enter an aircraft, the fragrance which hits you first as you enter the aircraft is ours. We work with all the airlines in India, and we provide the air fresheners which are used and sprayed on board before passengers come, as well as we provide a lot of the products which are used to keep the aircraft clean inside, like the tray tables, the armrests, the overhead bins. All of them are cleaned with Callington products. When you go into the washroom, you will find soap, you will find maybe a couple of other products which are there inside the washroom just to keep it healthy and hygienic. There also you will find Callington's presence.
So I can't see it, but I can smell it.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you work with all the airlines in India, and you also look after Qatar as well. How does that work?
Qatar is the world's only 5-star airline. They're the world's #1 airline. And my relationship and association with them goes back 5 years now. And over the last 5 years, it's been a privilege and an honor to work with the team there. We've done a lot of work together, and also the fact remains that Qatar is a very, very demanding customer, and we are very happy that we have met the very, very stringent requirements of an airline like Qatar Airways.
So Callington would, say it's Australian end, would look after Australian Airlines, and you look after India and Qatar.
Yes, Airways. I look after India, Qatar, and a few of the countries like Nepal, Maldives, and all these countries around you. Yeah.
Now, you've worked for French and Swiss and Japanese companies in your career. What's it like working for an Australian company?
It was a bit of a challenge initially, but I would say that the challenge was more in terms of understanding the accent rather than anything else.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You understand my accent?
Other than that, everything was fine, because Nick made it very, very comfortable for me when I joined. He gave me all the support required. And it was a very, very smooth onboarding, as you would say. And since then, I think we've had a wonderful relationship with each and every employee in the group. I work with most of the employees in the group. So it's been a wonderful experience. 8 years now.
Mm. And I'm interested in Chennai. So there are Australian companies here. There are startups like yourselves.
Yes.
So you work closely with the Australian Consul General in Austrade?
Yes, very, very closely with the Consul General as well as Austrade, both of them. I would actually put it on record that both of them have really helped us grow, and they've really connected us very well. So I would always be very thankful to both the Consul General as well as Austrade for helping us reach where we are today.
India can be a bit overwhelming at times with its massive cities. Places like Mumbai, New Delhi, Bengaluru and Chennai are enormous economies in their own right, teeming with humanity. But don't worry, here at the Airport Economist, we talk to our friends at the Hyatt about where to stay and how to do business. I called up with the General Manager of the Park Hyatt Chennai for his tips on how to get around this amazing city. Now, you've got a very beautiful hotel. Can you describe to me some of the facilities you've got here at the Park Hyatt, the restaurant and so on?
Park Hyatt Chennai, it's 12 years now that this hotel is operational. Park Hyatt as a concept is like you're coming into my home. Park Hyatt as a concept believes in fine food, fine art and fine people to run the operations. And we are only 52 hotels across the world. Park Hyatt is a brand. Luxury is understated here, so we call it's understated luxury. Luxury is personal. We don't promote that much because we want word of mouth to work on. It's a 200 key hotel. We have 200 rooms ranging from standard room to the presidential suite. And in Park Hyatt Chennai, you will see 3 restaurants. One is called as the Park Brasserie, which is our all-day dining restaurant. Then you go step out an outdoor venue, which is called as Mr. Ong. Mr. Ong is a Singaporean and Malay style street food venue. Very bustling, a lot of noise from the walk which comes out. Like you feel that you're sitting outside on a street, of course in a 5-star environment. And then we have Flying Elephant, and I prefer to call it as a well-managed chaos. It's a place which is not a restaurant. It's an experience in itself. It's a combination of best of the food, best of the beverage, best of the entertainment. Because if you go to a typical restaurant, you only talk about food. But when you walk into Flying Elephant, starting at the entrance, how are you greeted? How is the team member working in that place? How are they explaining the food? The music is right. We do not serve anything which is not experimental.
Now I was going to ask you, I know Chennai is a very busy place for business, but if you have a 1 day off or 3 days off, what should I do if I'm in Chennai?
Oh, so if you have a 1 day off, you can go around in Chennai. It's a beautiful city. There are beautiful monuments, there are museums. And Chennai is a very culturally rich city. So you will see a lot of theaters which are happening. Now if you have, say, 2 days or 3 days, drive down to Pondicherry, one of the most beautiful places. It used to be a French colony once upon a time. The French quarters are amazing. You should spend a night there. And there, just before that, there's something called as Auroville. Auroville is by Sir Aurobindo. It's an Aurobindo ashram, and it has a meditation center which looks like a golf ball. It's huge. You can listen to your own breath. So that's something which is very, very nice. It's in the middle of a jungle.
Now, India's a fascinating place, but can be quite overwhelming for foreigners. Are there simple greetings or customs that a foreign business person should know coming to India?
See, India is very versatile. If you go to the north, there's a different style of greeting. If you go to south, there's a different kind of greeting, same as east and west. And they're all very, very individualistic in their own approach. In south of India also, if you go to Bangalore, you have a different greeting. If you come to Chennai, it's a different greeting. So as a foreigner, when they come in, even a simple namaste is very, very well known across India.
I've noticed a lot of infrastructure ongoing in Chennai. Now, just a few practical questions. If I'm coming to Chennai, how do I get from the airport to the hotel? How do I get around? Do I take Uber, taxi? What would your advice be?
So there are multiple options. When you come at the airport, like any other city, you have to walk a little bit to go to the parking lot. The government has recently opened a multi-level parking. So the cars, if they are taxis, you are not allowed to bring them to the arrival terminal. You have to walk to that place. But airport authorities have done walkolators and these golf buggies. You go to that place. Taxi is one of the options for sure, and you get Uber, you get Ola, you get the local taxis and government-run taxis as well. But very easy is the metro. You get directly the metro from the airport, and it goes around the city.
Should you carry cash in Chennai, or is it all Apple Pay? Or
trust me, Apple Pay is still not applicable in India, but if you ask me how much cash I have in my pocket right now, zero. I only work with, we call it UPI, which is basically like an Apple Pay, and we have multiple channels. So we have Google Pay, we have Paytm, we have Phone Pay. So there are multiple options available. And slowly and gradually people are going away from cash and using these. So if you walk around a small tea shop outside or a vegetable vendor, you can pay through UPI, because I believe the government has put it so easy for everyone to open a bank account, and it goes directly to the bank account. There is no delay in terms of the transferring of the funds.
So what do we learn from our visit to India? Well, India can be intimidating. After all, it has 1.4 billion souls across 29 diverse states, and with 640 million people based in their massive teeming cities. But don't be intimidated. India has a parliamentary federal system with familiar institutions and legal framework. Many of its citizens are young, well-educated, English-speaking and tech-savvy. They are rightly proud of their nation's achievements, but also interested in the world and foreign cultures and influences. As a confident modern nation, India is not scared to take a look at trends beyond their shores. Here's just a few simple tips about doing business in India. India is an amazing diverse place, so you have to pick your starting point based on your industry speciality. For instance, in finance or films, go to Mumbai, where Bollywood is. In government, go to New Delhi. If in space, IT or aviation, Bengaluru. For manufacturing, Chennai, and so on. For those interested in trading or investing in India, the Ministry of Commerce and Industry is a key contact. It promotes international trade and investment through several organisations, including Invest India, which serves as a facilitator for investments and trade growth, working with foreign investors and providing support throughout their business lifecycle. Talk to the Australian High Commission in New Delhi or Consul Generals in places like Bengaluru and Chennai. And also, ask your state agency like Queensland. They can help you out if you find yourself on a sticky wicket. And enjoy the culture, and do talk cricket. It's a great icebreaker. So catch a test match or the colour and excitement of an IPL game. If you can, it's an amazing experience. Well, that's it for the India episode of The Airport Economist. I do hope you'll visit this amazing country when you get the opportunity. India has amazing charisma, and you just want to keep coming back. See you on our next business adventure together somewhere around the great globe. I'm Tim Harcourt, and I'm The Airport Economist.